You cannot get to the next level unless you are willing to accept this. Change does not happen overnight. So if you want to change your money, you're going to have to hang in there. You're going to have to stick with it. You're going to have to believe in yourself. And you're going to have to realize that every time you take one step forward towards what you want in your money, in your finances, in your dreams, then God is going to take 2 steps on your behalf. So this is what you need to do if you want to get your money straight this year, beyond 2020, marching season, marching orders, so that you can reap for the remaining 9 months of this year. First, you got to track every single thing that you spend your money on. I know it's difficult. It's hard. But if you think getting your money straight is hard work, think about this. So is being broke. Okay, so you need to pick your heart. So we're going to track every single penny. Can you do that? Let's track every single penny. You see, because some say money talks and I say money walks away from you quietly and you don't know where it went. It would be nice if a dollar said, I'm about to roll bounce up out of here, and when you come find me, I won't be here. But it does not talk at all. It just walks away quietly. So we have to track every single penny. Now, this may be difficult, but I'm going to give you a few tips. One, I highly recommend that you get a journal. Don't spend any money on one. If you already have one, it's great. If you're a member of New Wealth University, if you're not, go to asklynn.org and join now. But if you are a member of New Wealth University, then you received a budgeting journal. And that budgeting journal helps you to journal your money, your thoughts, your bills, your tax write-offs, and everything else that you need. If you don't have a budgeting journal, if you don't have your own journal, then get a spiral notebook. It doesn't matter. Just write. Thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through your fingertips. So if you start to write every single place that your money goes, and then you add it up, and you look at that list at the end of the month, and you don't like what you see, guess what? You are going to make changes. But I want you to understand this. Once again, change happens over time. It will not happen overnight. You have already heard me say it takes a lot of undoing to undo the doing we have done. Okay? So if you have been living for 40 years, that means you have been living well over like a whole bunch of days. Okay, you've been living a long time, over 14,000 days. And guess what? It's going to take a lot of energy and hard work and determination to undo all the lessons, undo all the bad money, mind habits, undo all the bad mistakes that we've done. So, but if you do it, you can get there, because I've done it and I'm getting there. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is track your spending. The next thing you want to do is make sure you're living by a budget. I highly recommend the 10-10-30-50. The first 10% of every dollar you get, you tithe. The next 10% you save. 30% is cash in your pocket for your incidentals. If you cannot keep cash in your pocket, and during a quarantine COVID v social distancing time, then you want to keep that cash on a separate debit card. A separate debit card, separate from your bills. Do not put your bill money and your spending money on the same card. Okay, that is a recipe for disaster. You want to keep your spending money separate. Now, what is the 30% for? It is for groceries, gas, hair, nails, going out, vacation, whatever you want to do. It has to come out of that 30%. If it does not fit, get rid of it. Okay, so that's going to help you avoid a spending addiction, which is what you have when you go to the grocery store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need. And I know you might have said, Lynn, we have heard you say this before, but I am telling you right now, this is where we are going to put the nail to the grind, because we realize that change happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight. So you decide one day you want to get your money straight on Tuesday, and by Friday, everything falls apart. You spent money where you didn't plan to spend it. The bill collectors are calling. A bill collector from 1722 is calling you in 2021, and you thought the bill collector forgot. So now you just say, forget it. No, don't forget it. Don't forget it. Stick with it. Stick with your goals, stick with your dreams, stick with your plans. That remaining 50%, because we're on number 2. Number 1 was track your spending. Number 2 is live by the 10-10-30-50. The first 10% you're going to tithe. The next 10% you're going to save. 30% is cash in your pocket. The remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. Now listen, if you do not have enough money for your bills, you must subtract. You must subtract something. 1 + 1 = 2. If your stuff adds up to 10, it'll never get into 2. So the only thing you can do right now is subtract. I know it's hard. I've been there and I've done that. And I remember the first time I looked at everything, I cried for weeks because I felt like I was in money cuffs, handcuffs. I felt like I was in bondage. And guess what? I was. But if I got out, you can get out too. So look at those bills. If one of your kids is in college and there's not a scholarship attached to that college bill, then maybe it's time for them to transfer to the free school. And my household, school is free. If you get A's, you go to school for free. If you get C's, you're going to the free school. Okay? Is your house too expensive? Is your mortgage upside down? You can no longer afford the car. Whatever it is, you're going to have to subtract. Now, if you have more than enough money, that's not a license to go buy everything you want. If you get a raise and raise your expenses, you do not have more freedom. You have more debt. You have more bondage. Now, you might look good in front of your friends, but let me tell you something. Rich people stay rich because they act poor, and poor people stay poor because they act rich. So we are not trying to impress people because we got a raise and then you're going to be in bondage. No. All right. If you have more than enough money left in your checking account for your bills, then first you're going to eliminate your debt, because debt is the middleman between you and your wealth. Debt is earning the interest that you could earn. You could be earning that interest. Your money will work harder for you than you can ever work for it. Okay. So you've got to get it to working for you. Now, if you want to split up some of the money, you want to establish a sinking fund for a vacation. Now, I don't take vacations. I only take business trips, but I know how to live my life like a business. So you're going to have to watch that on another episode, another video. But whatever it is that you want to do, you want to plan for it. So the first thing I said is you've got to track your spending. The next thing I said is you have to live by a budget. I recommend the 10, 10, 30, 50. If you make a whole lot of money, you might be living by the 10, 10, 10, 70. Because if you make $200,000-$300,000 a year, you don't need 30% for incidentals, okay? Because the whole idea is you have to spend less money. If you ever want to get to the next level financially, you're going to have to spend less money. There is no way around it. The next thing I want you to do, remember, change does not happen overnight. It doesn't. Change doesn't happen overnight. Change happens over time. And if you are patient with yourself, if you forgive yourself, even if you don't believe in yourself sometimes, I know sometimes I didn't believe in myself, but I said, you know what? This makes sense. So I have to keep going. I know where I've been. That did not work. So I'm not going back there. I'm not doing that again. I'm going to move forward. If I have to suffer, if I have to cry, if I have to pray, if I have to cry again, then that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I want you to do. The last thing I want you to do along this path every single day. You see, there are things that I wrote in my journal in 2006, and I was really, really nowhere near accomplishing the things that I wanted to accomplish in my life. As a matter of fact, I was 35 years old in 2000 at that time, and I felt like I had failed everything. And I was like, oh my God, how am I ever going to catch up? How am I ever going to do this? How am I ever going to get this right? But guess what? I started to write the things that I want. I started to write my vision, write my goals, write my dreams. And I would write, and the things that I was writing didn't make any sense. The things that I was writing seemed like it was somebody else's life. The things that I was writing seemed like a dream that could not come true. But do you know? And one day when we get together, because I'm planning a big event for all of my members, when we get together, I'm going to show you my writings, the things that I wrote 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I have come to pass today, bigger than I could ever expect. There's a saying, thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through your fingertips. Again, thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through your fingertips. So I want you to write. 1, I want you to track your spending. 2, I want you to live by the 10, 10, 30, 50. 3, I want you to write your dreams. Write, I'm going to be financially free. I'm going to have an enterprise. I'm going to create generational wealth. I will no longer live check to Monday. My check will last from check to next year. Okay, I will be able to give. I will be able to save. I will be able to help my family. I'll be able to help myself. I will be able to live the kind of life that I can be proud of, that I can wake up every day knowing that I have the power to impact change, to make change, and to help others. I can be free. That's what you need to write. I believe in you. And if you don't believe in yourself, then believe in my belief for you. Go to AskLynn.org and let's get on the road to financial freedom together. Let's march. In Jesus' name.
Debtor's Court with Lynn Richardson.
I am Lynn Richardson, otherwise known as Dr. Lynn, or the Medea of Money, or a minister, preacher, gangster teacher. That's what the people who know me call me.
Meet a new judge that breaks the mold.
A part of his job is to protect you and to support you, but he can't do it if you're spending money that you don't have.
I'm an ordained minister, I'm a licensed financial expert, and I'm an arbiter. That makes me the perfect person to help people with their money problems.
So what kind of work do you do?
I'm a dancer at a gentleman's club.
So you are making some dough. Where is it going?
Known throughout America for teaching people how to take control of their own finances and their own lives.
How much is acceptable to spend on yourself?
So 10% you tithe, 10% you save, 30% is your incidentals, and then 50% for your bills. I tell women, if you're going to the beauty shop every week, that's $50 a week, that's $2,600 a year. Get you a ponytail, it's $12.99. You'll be rich. People think that more money will make you happy. Absolutely not true. I know so many people with lots of money who are miserable.
Does your sister want to use you for financial gain?
No,
Is
she
she
actually
trying to
helps
harm
me
you?
a lot.
She's
She
helping
does.
you a lot. Tell me
She's
about
just too controlling.
you need help.
Debtor's Court is different than any other court show. First of all, it's dealing with an issue that affects every single person, money.
10 years from now, you're going to be so far ahead of the game because you will have started the process of becoming financially independent at a young age when it matters in a household with parents who love you.
I am able to resolve the money issues because I ask for the truth.
We just have a lot of issues, gambling problem and drinking and other women.
You know he's going to the strip club, right?
Yes,
You know he's tipping the strippers, right?
yes.
With your money.
Right.
You look like an enabler.
When I have to call somebody out, the truth is I'm giving them what they've asked for.
Debtor's Court uses all of the elements of today's most successful court shows.
Show me a trick. What can he do?
He doesn't do tricks, he's an actor.
You have got to be kidding me.
In other courtrooms, you get a resolution, but not necessarily a solution. So here in Debtor's Court, people are learning how to live responsible lives through the solutions that they are agreeing to in arbitration.
So you're late on the car note. You can actually call your auto company and you can say, listen, I'm having a tough time paying my bill. They will give you a 2, 3, or 4 month forbearance.
Real cases.
Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you need help.
Binding arbitration.
I got so many orders up here for you. Honey, let me tell you, they're gonna need a box to carry you and these orders out of here.
Strong litigants.
She's always thinking about guys, always want to be with guys.
And a great judge.
What you've gotta do is you have got to master money. Money shouldn't master you.
Debtor's Court with Lynn Richardson.